Hey everybody, welcome to my settings and key bindings video. The first thing, if you go to control, which is under options, you'll see vertical flight. I have my vertical flight set to normal. The reason I have it set to normal is because I find it a lot easier staying on target when you're tracking targets, because you're moving the mouse in the same direction as what you want your sight to move on screen. Whereas if you play inverted, you've got to move your mouse in the opposite direction to where you want your sight to go on screen. So I just find it a lot easier to stay on targets and to track targets, especially when they're doing maneuvers, etc. If you're actually moving your hand in the same direction as what you want your aim sight to go, a bit like firing a weapon. Imagine how difficult it would be trying to aim and shoot your weapon on foot, shoot your rifle on foot. If you're trying to aim, track targets, but moving your mouse and your hand in the opposite direction to where you want your sight to go, so it doesn't make any sense. So just try it. You will find it is a lot easier to stay on targets. And the next setting that we're going to be looking at is under gameplay, and it's the network smoothing factor. The network smoothing factor, as described, says it's the visual smoothing of network data such as players and objects. Lowering this will reduce latency but could increase visual errors. So basically, the lower you have it, the more accurate plots of players and objects on the map. So basically, the lower it is, what you see on your screen is more of an accurate description of what's actually happening in game. The higher you have it, the less accurate it is, because basically the server then will plot according to its last data input. So basically it's all guess where it is. The higher it is, the more guessing it does, basically. So the key to it is to have it as low as possible, and I've got mine at 10%, but what you want to do is you want to set it at 0. You want to play on low ping server, you want to play a bit of a game. If it plays smooth, keep it at 0. If it's not playing smooth, put it up 10%. It goes up in increments of 10%. So put it up 10%. Play a little bit, see how it goes. If it's playing smoothly, keep it at that. And that's what you want to do. So with the network smoothing factor, try and keep it as low as possible for accuracy. Okay. Next, we are going to move on to the video settings. Now, the video settings, I use GeForce Experience. If you have a video card, I think it's higher than the 600 series, or it might be even 500 series. But basically, if you have an Nvidia video card and you have GeForce Experience downloaded, it'll give you the option to optimize your games, for them to optimize your games according to your rig and what cards you got. So this is the optimization is set by GeForce Experience on the right hand side, my graphics settings. What you will notice on the left hand side, I have my full screen resolution set to 1920 1080 at 119.98 Hz. I have a Benq monitor, which is a 120Hz monitor, and so it kind of makes sense that is the reason I have that set at that. Okay, now let's move on to the key bindings in jets. Okay, now bearing in mind I fly normal, yeah, so my throttle up, caps lock, throttle down is set to S. The important ones are yaw, right and left, and those are set to my mouse. I find it a lot easier with the yaw set to my mouse to track targets smoothly and to be accurate. So I recommend having your yaw on your mouse and not having the yaw on the keyboard at all. My pitch down is my space bar, and my pitch up is my W. And I also have my pitch on my mouse as well, so that gives you a lot more accuracy when zooming, when in first person view and you're trying to aim at targets. Okay, my rolls are on my keyboard, and I have those set to D and A, and I have afterburner set to left shift. It's kind of out the way, not really used on attack jets. My toggle chase camera is set to H. Now H is one that I have set to my thumb button on my mouse, and when I'm on foot I have reload set to H as well. So basically my 3 thumb buttons that I have on my mouse are going to be set to keys that I use on foot. Okay, so that I have them all the same. Okay, so toggle chase camera, I use it all the time. I have that set to my mouse button. Next key, I have reload C. I don't have that set to my mouse because it reloads automatically anyway, but it's close at hand if I need to press it. But another one key that I do have set to my mouse, which is used all the time, is my switch weapon, and I have that set to G. G, when I'm on foot, is my grenade key. So again, I try and keep them in line with each other, so I don't have to keep on switching profiles. And then if you look down, I have my fire countermeasures set to left control. That is also set to my 3rd and last thumb button. Very important that you have your countermeasure set to your mouse button, because when you're using ECM, as soon as you hear those warning beeps, you need to be able to fire them off straight away. And last but not least, one of the most important key bindings that you need to change is your enter exit vehicle. By default it's set to E, which is set very close to WASD, in fact right next to it. So what you can find is that you can be flying along and then all of a sudden you're parachuting out because you've hit the E button by mistake. So I've rebound that to T, it's completely out the way, and I can't hit it by mistake, but I can still get to it, you know what I mean, pretty fast if I need to. And finally, I'm just going to go through my loadout in attack jets. Obviously 30mm cannons, the primary weapon. Secondary weapon, I'll go for hydro rockets, very versatile, you can carry loads of them, and you can destroy ground targets with them, as well as choppers, things like that. For my countermeasure, I choose the ECM. The great for flying over the flag, popping your ECM gives you 7 seconds. Yeah, they take 30 seconds to reload, but that's the same as all the countermeasures. And finally, I choose the stealth coating rather than the gyro stabilizer. Reason being, if you have the gyro stabilizer enabled, unless you're flying close to the ground, being hit by a rocket won't really affect you. Yes, it'll knock you about a bit, but it won't destroy you. Keeping gyro stabilizer won't prevent you from being destroyed. It won't knock you into the ground, unlike a helicopter. So I would prefer to have a little bit extra time to get my ECM off, and so therefore I'll choose the stealth coating. So those are my video settings, key bindings and loadouts. I hope they can be of use to you. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If the video has been of help to you, then please like the video and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. Bye now.